Okay.
Go. Hello and welcome to Espresso with Saul. I think today we're going to forego the espresso, but let me show you something. This is my 2015 Nissan GT-R Black Edition, which you've seen in a previous video. Now, granted, this is kind of a second channel that gets forgotten about a little bit, but I've really been needing to do an update. And it's a rather big update. Last June, we had a catastrophic engine failure. Essentially, we had a rod that was bent at some point. From what we can tell, it was most likely the previous owner had a rather large turbos on it and an aggressive tune, and it bent one of the rods. So basically, I was on borrowed time the whole time I was driving my car. Fast forward to today, it took me quite a while to figure out what direction I wanted to take with this car. I could take it back to OEM, or I could factor in the weak points of the car and build it up. Well, I made my decision back, I want to say it was in September or October, I went to set everything in motion. And it took quite a while for me to be able to actually get to this point. Basically, I decided to go ahead and build my engine. And I had it built by BSE, Bob Sobey Enterprises. He's actually built a few engines for the GTR group that I'm a part of, and everybody's pretty much given him the thumbs up. So anytime you do something on that magnitude, you really want to use somebody that has done it before and that has had good results. So what's happening is this is a 1200 horsepower engine build. And in addition to that, I'm looking at getting a Shep Transmission 3 done on it also, so it can actually handle the power. If for some reason I can't get the transmission done in time, we're going to have to drop down a lot of torque. Apparently the 1200 horsepower build also means that you can have up to around 1,000 foot-pounds of torque in the vehicle also. Okay, so the gentleman who takes it apart and puts it back together and tunes it and everything else is not the same person that builds the engine. I have a gentleman here in town, Bobby with Surgeline, and he goes in and he removes the engine and he ships it out to Bob. Bob builds it, sends it back, and so then Bobby sets everything up, gets it all back up and running. I go through a 500-mile break-in period, and then we do a power tune, and away we go. That's essentially the steps that we take in something like this. Okay. Meanwhile, I have actually been doing other things with this car. I've been adding more carbon fiber. I have other surprises that are going to be added to this. I'm hoping to have all this come together about the same time. I have a Nismo front end that I'm putting on it that's carbon fiber. This front end's going away. Another thing that has actually been done, and you can tell how long the car's been sitting here, but in the last 4 or 5 months, we actually had the carbon fiber roof installed on it also. Couple other minor details that we're working out. She's not done yet, still a work in progress. I'm really hoping that after a year of not having my car, I might actually get to drive it sometime here in the next month or two. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's enough of this. You guys have got the update. Now, let's talk about what really we've been meaning to discuss for quite a while. And that would be my wife's Tesla Model Y. Now let me preface this by saying, oh, yes, she's also irritated that I'm doing this while it's dirty. Just so everyone understands, look, it's been raining outside today, and if I waited until everything was perfect, well, I wouldn't get any of these videos done. So we're going to overlook the fact that yes, it does need a wash on a white car. This is not a performance model. This is not a plaid. This is not a long range. This is a base model, Model Y. And that's what I'm reviewing. I can't tell you, what a plaid's like or anything else. I can just show you what we've got and give you my 2 cents worth on it. Now, Teslas in general do have a lot of pros, a lot of really neat things about these cars. First off, they run on electricity. Well, that's fantastic for the most part. When my wife was commuting with this car, she could run it back and forth from our house to downtown where she had a side business, owned a salon, and she could go back and forth and charge it once a week. That's pretty convenient. The other thing about these cars is, boy, they have a lot of features that you're not necessarily going to find in other things. But let's talk about the other neat things about the neat things about these cars is maintenance and the lack of maintenance. You don't typically have to change your brakes in these cars very often. I know lots of people who've never had to change the brakes in them because they have what's called regenerative braking, which means if you can plan your route and plan the way that you're driving, when you take your foot off of the gas pedal, what will happen is the engine then will kick in and brake the car itself while regenerating the battery. It does take some getting used to. Honestly, the first day or two, maybe 3 of me driving it, I was rather annoyed by it, but I've gotten used to it and I actually really like that feature. So you rarely ever, unless somebody pulls out in front of you or you change your mind at the last minute, rarely do you have to put your foot on the brakes. No oil changes, no brakes. Essentially, all you need for this car is tires every so often, of which we're getting close to needing. That's pretty neat. Other pros is, these things, I should also preface this by saying we do not have self-driving capability in this car. And a lot of people love having stuff like self-driving. I'm not going to pay a subscription for self-driving because I, quite frankly, wouldn't use it. I wouldn't take this car on long trips. I don't think that they're quite as convenient for long trips because driving down the freeway will drain your battery a lot faster than driving it in town. Now, it's complete opposite of what it's like driving a gas-powered automobile. Mainly due to the regenerative braking. If you're going downhill, you take your foot off the gas and it regenerates the battery, regenerates the electricity. Well, that's pretty cool and all, but when you're driving across town, the stop and go, stop and go, stop and go is actually great for your battery. I don't know about if it's great for the battery, but it's great for how long the battery lasts. Because when we get on the freeway, if we're cruising down the freeway at 70 miles an hour, you can not quite watch it go down, but it does significantly go down. The ranges on your battery is going to be significantly less if you're on the freeway than in town. Okay, why don't we pop inside and take a look? Okay, so it's rather simplistic in here. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people like that you have to, you just have your screen and that's all there is to it. By the way, on my phone I have an app for the car, and I also have a card that I can keep in my wallet and hand to people. But the way we have it set up, you still need to use a PIN in order to turn the vehicle on. Are you facing... Perfect. All right, there, I've entered the PIN. Now the vehicle is actually on. And the way it works is you'll pull down for drive, you push up for reverse, and then you push your button here to put yourself back in neutral. You have features like opening the frunk and opening the trunk, and yeah, that's kind of cool. But you look over here, and yeah, you do have some wiper functions here, and you do have a couple of buttons, but typically these buttons are going to act as an interface with the vehicle itself. See, if I want, you don't have any buttons to change the temperature controls. So you press your button here for the temperature controls. You can press, I think it's this button here, and then you can scroll up with your button to decide where you want the windshield wipers to go. And then over here you press this button, and here's all your radio stations. I'm going to turn that down. Now, you get absolutely no AM radio stations, so you'd better connect your phone to one of the radio apps if you really want to listen to talk radio or have an AM station that you like. And then you'll have to listen to it through your phone, which you can attach to through your Bluetooth options and your Spotify and Apple Music and all that fun stuff, YouTube Music. So you can use all of those features. And a lot of people see these as pros, as really good things, as progress. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, my wife loves her car. This is a fantastic car for what she does, but she doesn't take this on long trips. If she needs to do a 5-hour drive to go see our grandson, she's taking my truck. She's not taking this. I don't need her to make 2 or 3 stops on the way there when she can hop in the truck and, you know, maybe make 1 bathroom break on the way there, and that's it. So, got good pros, maintenance, easy to drive, has cameras all around you. You put it in reverse and you've got your backup here, and oh hey, look at this. When you turn the turn signal on, well, look at that. It'll show, you know, a picture on whatever side. So, you know, if you hit somebody, it's on you, because it has all of these safety features. Now, for the cons, well, this car likes to beep a lot. And I've gotten used to the regenerative braking. I've gotten to the point to where I can pretty much anticipate and not need to touch the brakes at all. And this car will still beep at me to let me know that there's a car in front of me, even though I will never have to actually put my foot on the brake, and it'll still let me know, hey, there's a car up front. I find that highly annoying. In addition to that, it makes me wonder, you know, it wasn't too long ago where we found out that OnStar, that came on all of the GM vehicles, was reporting behind all the owners' backs that if they had, you know, hard stops or accelerated what they consider to be too fast, they were reporting them directly to the insurance companies. Huh. Kind of makes me wonder, if I'm making this thing beep at me, is it reporting us to our insurance company? Wow. What kind of crap is that? I don't like that. So, I mean, I still do drive this car, and sometimes maybe I will, you know, speed out into traffic with a hard acceleration, because you can with an electric car. You know, it has that instant torque and instant horsepower, so you want to get out there. Well, sometimes I'll jump out instead of waiting for an extra 5 minutes to get out. All right. Are they reporting? And then inside the car, does this have all the cameras that they're talking about coming out with in new cars since 2026? Does this have the cameras that are monitoring my face in the event of a collision? Are they, you know, are they going to be monitoring your heartbeat and everything else? You know, it's kind of funny. I'm not seeing a lot of new cars that I want, especially when I hear about all of this tracking spyware and tech and everything that they do. It makes me leery even more so of these electric cars. I also really, it bothers me when I'm trying to change the windshield wiper speed or change the heat and temperature in the vehicle. I honestly would really prefer to have actual knobs to be able to adjust such things. And this is one of the cars that doesn't have it. I know that there are plenty of others that have heard what people say about actually having knobs in their car to be able to adjust such things. And I know companies like Lucid and Rivian and others actually have those. And I assume companies like Chevy with their Volt and other electric cars that are made by Honda and Toyota, those probably do too. So I can't knock all electric vehicles for not having those, but I can for this one. Definitely can for this one. Those are some of the cons that I don't really care for. I also, since this is connected to the internet and everything else, I've heard about people who've rebuilt these. There's a mechanic guy, Rich something, who specializes in rebuilding Teslas, and they've had Tesla completely take off the car from their charging system. Basically, I'm not saying this right. They have disabled his ability to charge his vehicle on Tesla's chargers. That's what I'm meaning to say. I don't know why I couldn't before. And if they can do that, what else can they do? Can they disable these electric cars and just say, today you're only driving Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Is that possible with these? Is that where we're headed in this dystopian society? I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with you guys today. I might do that in a separate video, but it just gives you some things to think about with these particular vehicles. Am I being recorded? Is it listening to me like my phone does? People bring up pretty neat things about yeah, maybe I'm worried about my car tracking me when my phone's listening to me all the darn time. I have some solutions for that. I have some ideas for that, but some of the ideas that I have can't necessarily be done in an electric vehicle and some of the newer vehicles. It's kind of funny. I don't see a lot of new tech that's come out that has told me I need to run out and get a different vehicle. I would say that car companies will give you neon interior lights and heated and cooled cup holders to make you think that you need to run out and buy a new car. I'm a little bit on the opposite. It's funny. I know people who always have a car payment, and they will go out and get new vehicles every year or two. And they don't even have the money to pay for such things cash. They just always have a car payment and don't ever see beyond that. And I'm not that guy. I think we should probably be looking maybe in another direction rather than shiny neon lights, new wheels, and heated cup holders. I think we need to look at what's coming ahead. Oh, there's another thing that's coming ahead too, and that's subscriptions for vehicles that you own, like the Ford Mach-E. They call it a Mustang, is now, I haven't seen this in person, but apparently they are asking for subscriptions for you to be able to open and close your frunk. If that's true, man, people, we might need to start really rethinking buying new vehicles whatsoever. I think the only way we're going to be able to turn back the clock is by telling them, you know, take these new vehicles and put them where the sun doesn't shine. Because if we continue to buy things and get new vehicles and are fascinated by all of this new tech, I'm not really sure where this is going to end up. But I am very confident that wherever we do end up isn't where we are going to want to be. Pardon me for my Shatner-esque pause. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent about some of the car tech that I'm concerned about moving forward, and I want that to be a separate video. So, is the Model Y a good car? Yes, it's a fantastic vehicle. Yes, it works for a lot of people. Yes, if you like self-driving and that's what you want, I personally enjoy driving, but it seems like there's a lot of you out there that are amazed by vehicles that drive themselves. I'm not that guy. So for me, I would tell you, I think every household should have an electric car. They definitely come in handy. They definitely do the job. I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket and have all electronic cars. I'd definitely have maybe a gas truck or a gas car sitting just in case something happens with these that are beyond our control. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you sat and listened to me ramble on and on and on and on, thank you. And I don't know, maybe kick me a like. I'll see you on my other channel. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.